In this video, I want to have a look at solving equations with brackets. So if an equation involves brackets, we can expand those brackets out and then just solve it like a normal equation. So you don't always have to do that way, but sometimes it's a bit easier. So for this first example, I'm going to show you two different ways of solving it. The first one will go through and expand this bracket out. So 4 times x would give us 4x, and 4 times 3 would give us 12. So our equation becomes 4x plus 12 equals 20. Now we can solve it just like a normal equation. So we'll subtract 12 from both sides, and we'll end up with 4x equals 8, and then divide both sides by 4. We'll end up with x equals 2. Now this method of solving an equation with brackets will always work, but there is another way that we can solve them sometimes. So just here, that 4 that's outside that bracket, that means 4 times that whole x plus 3 term. So what we can actually do is we can get rid of that 4 first by dividing both sides of the equation by 4. So I'm just going to rewrite the question first. So we can start off by dividing by 4 on both sides, and we'd end up with x plus 3 equals 5, and then we'd subtract 3 from both sides. We'd end up with x equals 2. So both methods, you end up with the same answer. They're both correct. This way can be a little bit shorter, but it does get a bit messier if our number over this side isn't evenly divisible by 4. So if this was, say, 21 instead of 20, so 4 doesn't go into 21 nicely, so you'd get a bit of a messier number. So sometimes this is a little bit easier and neater, but sometimes this one's shorter. So it's up to you which way you do it. For the next one, I'll just show you both methods as well. So if we start off by expanding this one, we'd end up with 10m minus 12 equals 88. If we add 12 to both sides, we'll end up with 10m is equal to 100, and then we can divide both sides by 10 to end up with m equals 10. So that's the first method. The second one, we've got 2 outside of 5m minus 6 equals 88. We could start off by dividing both sides by that 2. So if we divide by 2, we'll end up with 5m minus 6 is equal to 44. And then we can go through and solve for m. So add 6 to both sides, and we'll end up with 5m equals 50. And then divide both sides by 5. And we end up with m equals 10. So in this one, it's exactly the same amount of working out. Actually, this one ends up being shorter. So it's up to you which way you do. All right, this bottom one, I am going to go through and expand both sides of this equation. So 5 times k would give us 5k, and 5 times 2 would give us 10. And then on the right hand side, we've got 8 times 2k would give us 16k, and 8 times 7 would give us minus 56. So going through and looking at that then, we've got pronumerals on both sides of that equation. So let's get rid of the smaller one. Let's get rid of that 5k. So we'll subtract 5k from both sides. We'll end up with 10 equals 11k minus 56. Then we can add 56 to both sides. We'll end up with 11k equals 66. And then divide both sides by 11. I'm just going to flip that over as we do it as well. So instead of ending up with 6 equals k, I'm going to write k equals 6. So those are a few examples of equations involving brackets.